Alright, I got some bifacing out of the way. I'm going to put that large blade, that large stance blade, in with those bifaces, and I'm going to heat treat them along with the flakes. As many of the flakes that'll fit in the turkey roaster. So I'll continue that large stance blade when we got it heat treated. Alright, so I've got a request. I got a gift box. Let's see. Daniel sent me a bunch of stuff, and it includes a mystery slab, so you know what that means. More mystery Flintknapping. Mystery Chert or something. I do not know what it is. Now, the slabs are kind of difficult, right? Especially when they're long. This is 5.5. Now the width, let's do this in millimeter 52, and that's like 8. So it's better than 7:1. Let's see. No. Well, it's about 7:1. 6:1. Between 6:1 and 7:1. It's already as thin as a finished piece. So how do you thin down something that's already as thin as a finished piece? You don't. I gotta make it smaller than this and then and then work on it. Yep. Ideally, you want it 4:1 when you start. That means, you know, if it's 1 inch wide, it's got to be at least 1/4 inch thick. But these things are not 1/4 inch thick usually. Well, this one is a little over 1/4 inch, but I'm 2 inches wide, so that's twice as wide as I normally would start. So if it breaks, then it breaks. It looks like it's rough. I might have to heat treat it. If it's raw and rough, I am going to heat treat it. I'm not going to nap it in a slab state when it's raw. Nope. Now where's... Oh, that's what I'm looking for. So I might delay this. Now, it might already be heat treated. It's just one of those non-shiny heat treats. It's napping pretty easy so far. Yeah, it might already be heat treated. It's just not one of those shiny types. So we'll see. And yes, I always start out with indirect percussion on slabs, yes. In case you're wondering, what am I doing? Why am I not taking pressure flakes across the face of it right now? That's not how I work slabs. I work them like flakes. I work a slab like I would work a flake. If a flake has a square edge, I remove the square edge. Actually, I need to be careful doing it. Normally, I'm kind of spastic and I don't care about this stage all that much. But it's better to be careful. I'm removing too much off that other side. Yeah. I gotta apply equal force to both sides. I don't know why I was hitting the other side harder. So yeah, I work slabs like I'm working a thin flake. Now, I recently had a question that it comes up every now and then about small arrow points, and if they were actually blowgun dart points, the arrow points that are smaller than a dime, for example. There are some people that are very adamant about those being blowgun dart points. And I'm not sure why they're so adamant when there's no evidence. If there was solid evidence, then yeah, I would agree. But there's more evidence for those small points being used as ornaments than there is for them being used as blowgun dart points. What kind of ornaments, you might ask? Well, there is at least one illustration where there's a miniature arrow accompanying feathers in a headdress. When feathers are worn in the hair, there's at least one illustration where an Indian has a miniature arrow mixed in alongside with the feathers in his headdress, which is just a tuft of feathers and then the arrow stuck in, the little miniature arrow stuck in with the point facing upward with a miniature arrowhead on it. Stone miniature arrowhead, as far as I can tell. So there's more evidence for that than there is for the blowgun dart thing. Now, if you look at authentic blowgun darts, stuff that survived, they don't have stone points. They just have sharpened wood, maybe fire hardened a little bit, maybe. Although I question that because I think fire hardening was not that common. Only certain woods become better when you fire harden. Like hickory does benefit from fire hardening, but most woods get weaker when you scorch them. The only wood that I've personally fire hardened with any good effect is hickory. I'm sure there's other wood that gets harder and less able to split. Right. The major drawback of wooden points is splitting. You know, they hit a solid object, they split or they crack. You want that point not to split or crack long enough for it to make a good penetration into the vitals. Of course, a lot of the a lot of the wooden points were poisoned, and that includes the darts. Blowgun darts had poison. Now, not all poisons are lethal. Right? Not all of them kill the prey. A lot of the poisons just weaken the prey so that you can finish it off with something else. You know, run it down and stab it, or wait till it kind of tumbles over and then you do the coup de grace, the finishing or the final strike with a weapon, another kind of weapon, that sort of thing. Because you don't want to be eating a poison, because you're going to be eating the animal. So you want one that either doesn't affect you too much, or when you cook the meat, it loses its potency, or something like that. So there's more evidence for poisoned blowgun darts than there is stone points on blowgun darts. There's more evidence for stone points, the miniature ones, being used for ornaments than for use on blowgun darts. So at this time, I know I've humored people before and said, yeah, it's very possible that they could be used. Those little miniature arrow points can be used for blowgun darts, but these days, you know, after looking and looking and looking, I'm not coming up with evidence, so I'm saying nope. Not unless it's proven otherwise, I would say no. Miniature arrow points were not blowgun dart points, unless I'm proven wrong. And you don't prove wrong just by theoretical statements or thought experiments. You need evidence in the archaeological record. Is it possible to use stone on the blowgun dart points? Yep. Is it possible to find people that would swear up and down that they've seen an example but they can't produce it? Yeah, there's those people. Are there stories of miniature points of stone on blowgun dart points? Yeah, there's stories. But yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about that. I just want to set the record straight, because before, in the past, I have said that it's very possible. And it might have given people the wrong idea. Just because it's very possible doesn't mean it was actually the case. Now on the other side, there is evidence of little miniature tiny arrowheads made of stone on actual artifact arrows. Yeah. And I've made replicas of those types of arrows. The Anasazi especially. Or the ancestral Pueblo as they're called these days. Yeah. Actual arrow artifacts with miniature points. Little bitty arrowheads on them. In the Southwest. And I think in California too. Or the West Coast. This actually naps pretty easily. Now, can I run long flakes across? Yep, I can. It's going to make it very weak. So I've got to be very, very careful. As always. Flintknapping is a combination of being very careful and very aggressive. Carefully aggressive. Yeah. So right now the edge is chaotic and random. So what is this stuff? I don't know. Be my guest and try to guess. Be my guest and try to guess. Yeah, I don't know. First stage is done. Basic shape, no square edges. I just need to remove the machined surface. Now, you don't want no machined surface on it because it looks dumb if you leave it on there. Yeah. Now, it's a good thing that this snaps easy. I'm very happy about that part. It is easy to nap. Now, when it's easy to nap, the danger is sometimes it's too easy. I have no idea how easily it snaps in half. It could be extremely easy. Who knows? That's why it's a mystery. Okay. Can we see better now? You and I, can we see? I still have glare. When I put in a dark background, you can see the glare. And I found out that all three of the lenses down here, there's 1, 2, 3 lenses, they're all cracked. There was only 2 like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Now there's 3. They're all cracked. So I must have dropped the phone sometime in the past week or 2 or 3 and cracked the last lens. I didn't have trouble with the other one, the other camera. Probably because the lenses were a lot smaller. Yeah. Or did it only have 1 lens? This has 3 lenses on it. They're going to probably charge me for each one to replace. Last time I went down with phone trouble, the technician just looked on the internet for the answer. Because I had too many system files on my phone. He didn't know how to fix it, so he just looked on the internet. Still couldn't figure it out. You know what it was? I have Google Photos, right? And when I delete something from Google Photos, it stores the deleted information as a system file on my phone. Yeah. It doesn't delete it. It just downloads it to my phone. So you have to actually go into the library at Google Photos, or in the app, Google Photos app. Go into the library and look at the trash. And there's all the trash. And guess where it's stored? It's stored on the phone. Yeah. I bet you there's a setting to prevent it from storing it on your phone. I just don't know what setting it is. Wish there was a setting on that dog. And no barky while filming setting on the dog. I applied some black dye to my pad, but it still wears out quick. All right, I'm gonna try some pressure flaking. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Piece of cake. Right? How long can I make the piece of cake flake? Not very long, because I still don't have a slotted pad, so I think the pad interferes. But yeah, that's cool. I can make a pressure flake. Even I can do it. And I can manufacture a step fracture. Yep. How many out there can manufacture the step fracture? Everybody's hands went up on that one. Yeah, it pressure flakes well. Okay, so that answers that question. Now the hard part is sending flakes all the way across with some method without snapping the whole thing. I don't know what material it is, but it feels like a heat treat. One of those non-glossy heat treats. Yeah, because I have not napped any stone that feels like this. It's like a high-grade floor tile. You know, like the best floor tile you could ever get, which would be about a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. 5 being average and 5 is floor tile. If you want to know what the average stone naps like, you just nap some high-quality porcelain floor tile. That's the mid-range. That's what the mid-range of stone is like. Not exactly, because floor tile is a little bit dry and crunchy, and it has a different texture than stone for sure. But I classify it as mid-grade, so kind of gives you an idea. Some guys have no idea how to grade or how to evaluate the stone they're napping. They don't know what's good, what's bad. Just get some high quality porcelain floor tile. The problem with that is you can think you got high quality floor tile and you don't. Or you got high quality floor tile and you don't think it's high quality. And you get mixed up, and it doesn't help you. Still doesn't help you to know that little tidbit of information. Just get a lot of samples. Don't just go by one sample. That's why in statistics you need a large sample size, or your statistics aren't any good. You can't just go by one example. Go to the store and buy one sample of floor tile, nap it, and it naps like pottery, and you go, floor tile is no good. I napped one tile and it was terrible. So all floor tile is terrible. Don't fall into that trap. Gotta nap a bunch of it. of different grades, not the same one many times, because it's pretty consistent. You know, if you get the same floor tile batch with the same color and characteristics, it's going to be pretty much the same for that whole run of tile. No, get different colors, different patterns, different manufacturers, etc., so you can get a good sample size. How many exactly? I only got like $226 to my name in my savings account, and I can only spend $115.20, and that's gotta go a long way. It's gotta last a year. Yeah. I think the floor tile samples are $4 a square foot for the high-end stuff. So you buy 1 foot by 1 foot is $4 and plus tax. Just buy 1 foot by 1 foot. You need to run out and buy a whole big stack of them. Of course, the attendants or the helpers at the store are not going to know how to sell you only one floor tile. You got to get a manager and say, I just want a sample, okay, man? I just want a sample, not the whole box. You can do samples, right? Because you got them sitting on the shelf there and just one sitting there. How do I buy just one? The box is open so you can show people what it looks like. I just want that one tile. And what they do is they can look it up. If they're not lazy, they can look it up, and on the database it shows individually how much they cost. So all I gotta do is type it in, do a little manager override, and type in the cost for that one floor tile. But you gotta be nice to them. You can't be like telling them it's a conspiracy that they don't want to help you. Nope. Gotta be nice. Can you please sell me only one? Yep, and one of each one of these on the shelf. Like you got 6 different tiles. Can you sell me one of each one, please? They'll go, yeah, just put them all in the cart and we'll fix you right up. As long as you're talking to a manager. If you're not talking to a manager, they'll go, I don't know. I guess. I gotta go see it. Be right back. Our customer needs help on aisle 47. You'll be sitting there forever. Just ask for the manager right away. What I did one time is I just took 6 different samples, or I think it was 3 different samples, straight up to the register and said, I want just one of each. So at the register is where they call the manager, because they're usually right there. Anyway, so it only took like 10 minutes for them to figure it out. Otherwise, you'd be standing in the tile zone for 20 minutes, and they keep saying, customer needs help on aisle 47, or whatever it is. Then you get all discouraged. You go home and you think to yourself, I was about to have the wisdom of the ages and know what floor tile naps like, but no one helped me. Now I don't have wisdom of the ages. I don't know. I still don't know. I spent all that time at the store and I still don't know. What is a 5 for nappability? What's the midpoint? I need to know. Yeah. Some people are listening to this and going, you can nap floor tile? You can nap it? Yeah, man. Yeah, it's amazing. The world is not so bad after all, huh? you got more than just beer bottles. You get floor tile. Yep. You don't have to nap only beer bottles and wine bottles and crud bottles from who knows where. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to nap clear glass only. Clear glass is actually some of the worst glass you can nap for two reasons. One, the quality isn't that great. It's usually tempered or something, so it naps kind of funny. Tempered. And then number two is clear, so you can't see the waste. You get it up on your face and in your eyes, and you can't see it. If you get a little clear shard in your eye, you can't see it. You can't just go, hey bro, can you look in my eye and see if you can tweeze out that piece of glass? What color is it? It's clear. Do you see it? No. It's clear. Even if it was right in front of me, I couldn't see it. Dang it. That's what happens. Now I gotta flush my eye 15 minutes. And it's probably gonna sneak behind my eyeball. Yeah. Can't see it. But now you know you can nap floor tile. Don't have to go through that. Mm-hmm. Now you know. Holy moly, that dog sounds like it's right in my lap. It's right outside the window. Yeah. It's always easy to nap one side of it, but if it gets too thin, I'm in big trouble. Come on. Just a little flake. There we go. Yeah, that's the problem. If it gets too thin, I'm doomed. Doomed, I tell you. And it's not consistent either. Trying to nap through the darker stuff, it's a little bit different in consistency. Yes, yes. The gray stuff is pretty good on this one. Don't worry, you'll never be napping something like this. I'm being serious. It's kind of a rare, it has a rare feel to it. Yes, yes. I don't know. This is getting to the point where I might not be able to reach the center. Why don't I sound really worried? Because if I can't reach the center, I just make it more narrow. It's no big deal, actually. Yeah. No one says it's got to be this wide. If I start having problems, Problems rhymes with PMS. If I start having problems, I just make it more narrow. That's my cheat. That's my hack. That's my way out. I don't know. Let's see how far I can go with this flake. I'm napping through the brown stuff, so it's not that great. Come on. Did it do it? Okay, it did it, right? But it's getting thin. That's the problem. I don't know if I can do it on both sides like that. I can do it on one side. Yeah. Now I gotta do the other side. Yeah, I can get to the center. Get to the center of the Tootsie Pop, but the other side. What about the other side? Just display it on this side. You'll be good. Yeah. Don't even do the other side. The other side. Don't even do it. That's my advice. Just do one side. Home free. Go. No, this doesn't count. That's like the mountable surface, so it lays flat. Yeah, that's why I did it that way. That's what you can tell them. Why? Someone will pick it up and go, "Why is it flat on that side?" And you say, "Well, I kind of made it that way special, so it'll lay flat on the surface of the display case." Yeah. It's a controlled flat. That's what it is. No shame. Controlled flat. Come on. I thought you were going to nap nicely with pressure. I thought you was gonna. All right. Come on. Did I grind it too much? The grinding guys don't think I ground it down too much. I guarantee. They're going, no, you haven't ground enough. You only ground like 10% of what you should grind it. Right, grinding guys? I only grind 10% of what I should be grinding. It drives them nuts. They don't watch my channel. I don't know. I can't say that. I don't know who's watching. There's a lot of people watching. And it used to be that people from other countries would watch more than the U.S. But nowadays, it's all the United States. People from other countries are not watching that much. I don't know why. Are they censoring it? Someone tell me if they're censoring it so that people from other countries can't get YouTube. That would be bad. I get mostly United States. That's number one always for the viewers. And then UK. And then Australia. And then everybody else. Canada, I suppose, is in the top 5 somewhere. All the English-speaking countries are always in the top 5 now. Where I used to get like things like countries like Pakistan, Israel, Romania, Albania, Czechia, the Czech Republic, right? They call it Czechia now, I think. I used to get views from all these countries, but now they're all down at the bottom. Something happened. I think something nefarious is going on. Nefarious. Look it up. I don't know how to spell it. Just say it to Siri or whoever you're using. AI knows how to spell it. As long as you know how to say it. Nefarious with an F. N-E-F. Nefarious. Rhymes with hilarious. Hilarious. Yeah. It's hilarious that you think you're nefarious. Yeah, I know. I try. But I'm not the one being nefarious. YouTube's being nefarious. If it's not allowing people from other countries to watch this stuff. Now, why am I not telling you how to do this? Why am I not detailing step by step what I'm doing? If you're wondering that, you must be new here. Yes. I don't always explain every hit. You have to watch. And we got a visitor. You guys see the visitor? It's distracting me. Anyway, you got to watch and see. Monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. A lot of times I'm just making doo-doo with what I got. So if I were to tell you what I'm doing, sometimes I have to explain to you that, yeah, I'm not doing this exactly right, but I don't care because that's just the way I nap. What kind of napping is it that I don't care about what I'm doing? Random, opportunistic, you know, it like a grifter. It's a grift. Yeah, it's not real napping. It's just something I invented to pretend that I'm a napper. Yeah. So I would have to explain that to you, that I don't always follow my own rules. Like, what am I doing here? Why am I using such a coarse abrader? I just want to see if it actually removes some of the edge better than this other one, because these other ones take forever to grind down the edge. Why do I need to grind down the edge? Because it doesn't work if I don't. Okay? I mean, come on, figure it out. Use your imagination. Use your noggin, your thought experiment machine that you got up in there. I know you got it up in there. You wouldn't be online unless you had a very active thought experiment machine in your head. Yeah. You know how to invent narratives. Oh, yes. Just invent your own narrative. And you know what? It doesn't even matter if you're correct or not. Because it's all practice. It's all practice. You can have a lot of head knowledge on this stuff and not be able to nap at all. Yeah. You can have a degree in lithics, lithic technology, and know nothing about napping, and that's all you study is napped artifacts. All right? And you take up knapping, you'll find out that all the training that you receive matters very little in the end when trying to thin down a thin piece. It all comes down to practice. And everyone has their own technique. Eventually, it's custom. The brain is customized to each individual. Yeah. So even if I were to tell you everything that I know, it might not help you. In fact, you're going to get very upset if it doesn't help you, because it doesn't make any sense. In your thought experiment, I should be able to convey exactly how to do this. Right? What's the problem? I should be able to tell you exactly what's going on. But you know what? I don't know exactly what's going on. I can tell you some of the angles, some of the forces and all that. But like right now, I should have sharpened this or made the tip of the steel less worn, because I've already napped something with it previous to this video. I should start with a clean piece of steel. But I didn't. Why is that? It's good enough. It's good enough. Why is it important to start with a clean tool? Because you're controlling the initial conditions better. And you might say, well, I need to know that. I need to know that I can control the initial conditions better. You didn't tell me that. Okay. You can't figure that out? You can't figure it out that you have to control the initial conditions a little bit better? Or as best as you can? As best as you can? I don't know how to say it. You can't figure that one out? I don't need to tell you that. If I tell you don't take shortcuts, you go, I already know. I know that a priori. Yeah. You philosophers out there, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody else, you don't need to know that stuff. You don't need to know philosophy to Flintknap. You know how I know? You know how I know you don't need to know anything philosophically or physically? Because they didn't back in the day, and they were highly talented. Highly talented, and they had no knowledge of the atom or of physics or of gravity or what makes for a chemical bond. How are chemical bonds achieved, and what is the exact science behind heat treatments? They didn't need to know any of that. And they didn't teach anything other than very simple stuff. And who knows if they had a vocabulary around Flintknapping that was highly technical. We don't know the language, how technical the Flintknapping language is back in the day. Maybe they didn't have terminology for regularizing the edge. Maybe it has other words for that. Who knows? Nobody knows. All that we do know is that they probably did not have the same in-depth knowledge of physics that we do. And they didn't need to know. They just had to have very good powers of observation, which, I don't know. It seems these days that's kind of rare to have good powers of observation. I guess we don't need it that much anymore because we don't need that to survive. We just need to know how to get a job and go buy groceries. That's it. If you can get a job and then go buy groceries, you can survive in today's world. That's it. Yeah, you need a house and stuff, but if you live in a warm climate, you can just live out of your car or live on the front porch or whatever. Anyways, where was I? I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get that out of the center there. And there's no real technique to it. I just got to try to figure out where a good striking area is to hit into that area. If I can't find one, I got to take back the edge and make it more narrow, which I think I'm going to have to do because I don't see any good strategy without risking breaking the whole thing. Yeah. I don't see any good angle of attack. That's the hard part about side B. Side A is easy, side B is the hard part. Now why didn't I just go back and forth, do one flake on this side and one flake on that side, one flake on this side? Because it's not that easy. If it was easy, then I could do that. If it was predictable, then I could do that. But as you can see, the edge I'm working with is irregular. So I've got to make my attempts in an irregular way. Now, I could go ahead and pick this edge until it's almost perfect. Right? I could do it that way. Just pick on the edge until it's almost perfect. But it's not worth it, in my view, to go to that extent. It just takes way too long. Instead of 1 hour like right now for 52 minutes, it'd be twice that long if I were just to pick the edge extremely carefully each time. I'm just trying to do it good enough. Good enough. And oddly enough, good enough is how they used to do it back in the day. If you study the artifacts, sometimes you go, wow, that's a beautifully made point. And sometimes you say to yourself, why the heck would they leave the point so ugly? That step fracture in the middle or the island in the middle of the point is so ugly. Why would they do that? It's just a matter of various factors that could be influencing what's going on. They might have been in a hurry. You ever think of that? No. Just add that to your thought experiment. Some of these points were made in a big hurry. Yeah. The real ones. Like I've only had like 15 minutes to do this instead of an hour and a half. It would not look the same. And you would say, if you are a lithics analyst, the first thing you would think is, well, this is made by two different knappers. Yeah. Instead of being made by the same napper, except that one day he was in a hurry, so that point looks all steppy. But it's the same napper. Or the same napper, except he made it when he was 13 instead of 34. Yeah. Same napper, but one of them was made when he was 13. The real crude one. They don't know. You don't know what age these nappers started out napping. Heck, they could have all been made by child labor, for all we know. Not likely, but you know, you just never know these things. It's like people from the future, they'll look back and, I can't believe these high-tech batteries were made from materials mined by underage laborers. How is that even possible? In a world where there's modern monetary theory, they could pay adults high wage and get adults to work in the mines. Yeah. Because of the modern monetary theory, says you can just print money. Yeah. Just print it and pay them. That's what they're going to think in the future. No excuse. But guess what? That's not how all this high-tech stuff is mined. Yeah. It's mined opportunistically. It seems to be the human way. Just opportunistic. All right. I'm starting to get impatient because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not seeing anything good. So I'm just going to start taking chances here. Okay. I got to make it more narrow because I'm not going to be able to reach the center without making it more narrow. All right. So I'm just going to take down the edge in a certain way here. I'm just going to bevel it. I am going to describe this part because this is a strategy. Some people might be saying, yeah, you should have just done 2 no-talk videos tonight. Don't appreciate what you're saying. Too bad. Can't do nothing about it except turn down the volume or play your favorite tunes. You can always play your favorite tunes instead of listening to me yap yap. Yep, yep, yep. All right, we're just gonna have to live with it. If it has a curve in it, when I'm done, I'm just gonna have to live with it. Not like that. It's not going to work like that. Did it do it? Yes. But that's at the edge of my skill level right there. I just barely got by with that. And luckily I didn't install a dip. Come on. I know you can do it. We have the technology. Golly. I messed it up pretty bad. Yep. Come on. It was all crunchy. That's my excuse. It's crunchy, Chert. You see what I did? No? Oh, well, just rewind it. Rewind it and watch it till you figure it out. Then you tell me. Yeah. After you figure out how I did it, you tell me. Inquiring minds want to know. Where does that come from? Where does the inquiring minds want to know? There used to be, or maybe there still is, a publication called The Inquirer. And guess what was funny and ironic about The Inquirer? It was all fake, right? Fake stories, pretty much. It turns out that fake stories were making more money than the actual real stories that journalism, that the high-paid journalists were pursuing. They're pursuing these stories that were like documentaries. And then the Inquirer would come out and talk about aliens and sell millions of copies. Yeah, compared to thousands of copies of the regular news. So everyone got jealous and they started to be like the Inquirer. Everything started to be made up stories. Yeah, so that's all we got now. But the Inquirer used to say, inquiring minds want to know. That was their pitch. That was their sales pitch. Yeah, that's why they produced the publication, because inquiring minds want to know. So it's kind of like a derogatory thing when I bring it up, because when I bring it up, what I'm meaning by that is people that want to hear made up stories want to hear the made up story. They want to know what the made up story is. Yeah. I can make up a story on how I did it. How did I manage to unmess up myself in some of these crunchy areas? I could make something up because inquiring minds want to know. It's not aliens. Although I could say, yeah, I get help. I get like these messages from aliens. They whisper in my earpiece. I got this earpiece that I can communicate. And it doesn't communicate by language. It just controls the angles. Yeah. And controls the forces in my subconscious. Directly plugged into my subconscious. You don't know. Inquiring minds want to know this kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to get that out. We'll see. Is it an hour? Yeah, it's already an hour, but it's not too bad. I thought it might have been more time than that. If it's a... Oh yeah, I was going to say... if it's a real long video, and for some reason I get interrupted and I had to cut it in 2 parts, if I join it together in my video editor, the sound doesn't sync properly. the sound is off. Like if it's a long video and it's made in 2 parts, I forget that if once I join them together, the sound is off in most cases. Not all cases, but just my luck. When I need the sound to be perfect, it's not. So lately there was one 2-part series where the first part's like 4 minutes because I got interrupted. And when I tried to join the 2 pieces together, because the other piece is like an hour and 40 minutes, the sound didn't sync up. So by the end of the second part, it would be like click, click, click. The clicks would be off. It drives me nuts. The narration is fine. I don't have to be perfectly synced with the narration. But with the clicks, with these little flake removals, the sound's got to match up or it looks stupid. Yeah. Heaven forbid, I don't want to look or sound stupid. No. Everything's perfect on this channel. Yeah, sarcasm, I know. But, you know, I don't know why I even care, but I do care. Yeah, I do. In some cases, in some instances, that, you know, whatever bugs me, that's what I care about. Sometimes it doesn't bug me and I don't care. But that bugs me when the sound is off. You know, it's not synced. That does bug me. Anyway. Do we have any of the brown left? Only right there. That's it. That's the stone itself. This is the outside patina, or the original machined surface right there. This is the only brown left. There used to be brown around the edges. I'm glad there's not much around the edges anymore, because it was not fun to nap through. Although it was pretty much the same, it had a slight difference to it. Yeah. All right, let's see what I can do here. Did it do it? I don't think it did. I think we're going to have to island in the middle. But I can hit that again and see if that'll make it continue. All right, let's do the trick. See if I can hit that again and... Oh, it almost did it. Just a little speck left. You saw what I did, right? No? That's why there's a rewind. Yeah. That's why YouTube is so awesome. You can rewind it. Come on, did it do it? Yes. Barely. Yeah, you can rewind and see how I did it. But you'll never know exactly, because it could be aliens controlling my subconscious. You don't know. Okay. I'll quit saying that because I know it's annoying. Some people think it sounds gay when I do that. Why? I don't know. Okay, so I'm at the limits of my abilities here. See, this is just a little bit too wide for me to eliminate that center portion. I can try by narrowing the stem, but it's going to be difficult because of that inconsistent area. All right. See, I don't know if I can nap through. I don't know if I need to. I can just nap through this side. All right. So I'm going to regularize it down at the base, and then we'll see. That part I can probably just grind that off. Let's see. Voila. It doesn't look as bad. Okay? All right. Yeah, I gotta regularize it, but I can't make it too thin because if I make it too thin, I won't be able to shoot flakes into the area. But that's the secret. You just gotta make it more narrow. If there is a secret, or if there's a hack or a shortcut to getting to the islands in the middle, you gotta make it more narrow. That's it. I don't know what else to tell you. And yes, it risks breaking it trying to get everything cleaned off. It does risk breaking it. But as the motivational speakers would say, what is life without risk? Pretty boring because I like that game. You played Risk before? Have you played the game of Risk? I used to play it every Friday night with my buddies. Back in the day in high school. Yeah, that's how old I am. Played Risk. Played Monopoly, but Monopoly gets old. Okay, so it didn't make it, but I can hit that again. Let's see. Almost. Dang it. I can't hit it too hard down here because I could snap it in half. Ooh, that almost did it. So close. Luckily, this naps well. If it wasn't for its nappability, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to get nearly this close to getting all of that original surface off of there. If it was not able to nap well. If I couldn't nap it well enough. Let's see. Can I do it on the other side? Yeah. All right, you'll see what I'm doing in a minute. Hopefully. Didn't do it. It's not going to do it. Not from this crunchy area down here. The very lowest part of this is not cooperative. Can it do it? I think it did. Alrighty, there it goes. So side A is done. Let's try side B. If side B can be done, then we're home free. We're home free if we can do side B. And then I can work on that lump maybe, or just leave it. Well, probably just leave it. Yeah. Let's get set up to do various options on side B. Yeah. So I'm gonna improve the edge. This again is strategy. I'm gonna improve the edge so that I have several opportunities to come in and clean that off. Did it do it? I think it did it. Just one more little teeny spot. That's it. That was easier than I thought it would be. Yeah. Okay. Easier than I thought it would be. All right. I'll try to even it out here, regularize it. Okay. Sharpen it up. All right. All right, so I'll probably zone out here for a little bit. I might lose all of the darker color. Yeah. Except on the very tip. May have ground this edge too much. Maybe. have not been watching the viewfinder. I've just been going to town on the edge. Yeah. All I'm doing now is sharpening it. And I'm getting more practice with sharpening, so I think I'm getting a little bit better. I think. I still get stuff fractures near the edge, like right there. Let's see. I will just leave it. So wherever I see a dull spot, I'll just push on it. You notice I did not grind it for the second pass because there's spots in between that I can push on. Yeah, dull spots. In between the previous flakes. Now I could space them together really close so the dull spots are negligible. But that's just really painstaking. It takes too long. Besides, on the real artifacts, they were not all that careful in most cases with the sharpening. Come on, it's not, I can't get the cheater tool in there without scratching it up and leaving metal marks. Let's see. I'm getting a little bit better at pushing inward, but I still crush the edges a lot. So I got to be careful. I was just looking at one of the forums lately. The Primitive Archer forum, and it was a post that was made a long time ago, but there was a guy having trouble sharpening the edges of his points. He said no matter what he does, he can rub his finger up and down the edge and it's not going to cut him at all, and he can poke himself with it and it's not going to do anything. And there was a lot of responses on how to get the edge sharp, and he just couldn't do it. He says he's tried everything. He's tried all the advice, he has all the head knowledge and everything, and he just can't do it. The edge is not sharp. That's what he says. He cannot get the edge sharp. So in that case, he probably needs to sit down with somebody, and they need to watch exactly what he's doing, and that way they can identify what's going wrong. Because sharpening is not a big deal, really. He's probably missing something or doing something totally wrong. It could be just as simple as too much inward pressure is crushing the edge every time. Too much inward pressure. Or sometimes it's too much downward pressure, and all he gets is a crunch on the way down. He just can't avoid the crunch. I'm thinking maybe that's it. I was thinking to myself. I tried to answer it, you know, when the post first came up. It was a while ago. I told him just bevel the edge. He says he does that, but it doesn't get sharp. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell him. That's as far as I dare to go. I wanted to clean that up a little bit, but that's as far as I dared to go on that one. We'll just leave it. There's barely any brown left. But that's it. I'm not going to do anything else to this point. Right? Or should I? Is there something I can do? Yeah, dovetail. Right? Someone's going to say, make a dovetail. I forget how to do them. See, I don't have my Noel Justice books with me. I made a mistake and left them in New Hampshire. Or I would just break it out. I can't look on the internet because my phone is my internet and my phone is recording this. Yeah. Dovetail. Just 2 notches in the bottom. But the notches got to be just right, or it's not going to look correct. Tell you what, Daniel can put in the notches. How's that? And make a little dovetail. All right. Shouldn't be too hard. I'm trying to think by memory. Yeah, I don't want to make a part 2. So yeah, this is mystery heat treat. It turned out to be just a gray, easy to nap chert with a little crusty spot at the bottom. So I had to make the base pointed to drive flakes inward. There's still a little bit right there, original surface, but I don't care about that one. It's still a little lumpy near the tip, but I don't want to mess with it. The let's see, the width to thickness ratio in millimeters is 35 by 6 to 1. 6 to 1. So how it started 2 inches wide and it's 1 3/8 inches. Started about 2 inches wide, correct? So if you want to take a shortcut, just go and get a slab that's like 1 3/4 inches instead of 2 inches wide. Yeah, it was a little over 1/4 inch thick. It's like 5/16 when it started. A little bit less than 5/16. It would have been nice if it was a full 5/16. That way it wouldn't have to get so narrow. But yeah, that's it. Good enough.